So the next topic is actually the biggest wins in lead generation. So the biggest wins that I've actually had in lead generation are with one of my recruitment clients called Preston, and we've actually managed to build his business. He said he was basically operating job order to job order, waiting for clients to come in through networking, referrals, the traditional methods which we hear all the time. All right, every business basically relies on these traditional methods, and we implemented a LinkedIn and email outbound marketing system to acquire him some new clients. And actually, with Preston, in 90 days, we generated an extra 55,000 of new revenue, which was fantastic. Just for ourselves as well, our outbound campaigns are fantastic. It really amazes me when people say that outbound is dead and cold email and cold DMs, cold calling is dead, because there's no way that that's true. So many businesses like mine and like my clients are growing rapidly through cold outbound. There's no way you would get that sort of growth just through referrals or just through organic, word of mouth growth. It's so rare that it happens. You need a system in place that's repeatable, scalable, and measurable. It's so important to be tracking your data and tracking your metrics, because then you know where your next client's coming from, you know where your next sales coming from. You can forecast, you can invest more into your marketing, invest more into your brand, invest more into your growth, right? Because you have a steady stream and you have a pipeline of business that you've built up. This just isn't really achievable through the traditional methods of acquisition, which are, referrals and word of mouth. Don't get me wrong, they're key, and I think they're actually needed in every business, because that shows that your service is good. If you don't have a good service, you won't get word of mouth, you won't get referrals, and it makes it much harder to grow. So starting with that foundation of word of mouth and referrals is really important. But if you actually want to grow and grow rapidly, you need to have outbound campaigns in place. Now, we actually run cold email and LinkedIn campaigns, and I just use my own LinkedIn account, so one account for this, and about 10 email accounts. And we're easily booking 2 calls a day now on average, just with one LinkedIn account and 10 email accounts, which took barely any time to set up. Of course, your LinkedIn profile needs to be optimized for higher conversions and higher amount of calls being booked. But just those 2 channels alone can book you, what's that going to be, about 40, 50 calls a month. Really, really possible, really achievable for any B2B business, really. LinkedIn is going to be the cornerstone, I think, and it's fundamental for success. People want to check you out. As soon as you receive an email or message or a call, what's the first thing you want to do? You're going to check them out, check out their online presence, okay? So you want to be blown away by their LinkedIn. Most people's LinkedIn are just dormant. They've got some banner that they made on Canva, which, nothing against Canva, it's a great tool, but some basic sort of banner and no content on there. So you want to really optimize your LinkedIn profile to make sure that when visitors are landing on it, they're getting thoroughly impressed and they're getting nurtured with your content. There's actually a statistic, and it's, if you were to purchase a service from a provider, you would actually need to spend about 7 or 8 hours with the provider to build up enough trust, right, to actually go ahead with the service. And this is for high ticket stuff. So instead of having 7 or 8 hours worth of calls, which is very time inefficient and you don't want to do this, what you can do is put so much content on your page and on your website that people are effectively spending 7 or 8 hours with you, but just on your videos, right? And this is going to have the same effect of nurturing them, building connections, building relationships, and ultimately increase your conversion rates. So that's why it's really important to firstly use LinkedIn. But if you're using LinkedIn, you need to have an optimized profile and have constant calls to action, constant bits of content that will nurture your leads throughout your profile. So that's really important.